I'd say that whatever we do as CDOs, we're trying to improve business. We need to align our work with business needs. And what we're trying to do to empower people. So people gonna listen, implement, work with us or not along the lines of data-driven decision making and more importantly execution. So that's why people are most important part of what we do. I'd say that people are the first most important part of that. Then you need to align your work with business strategy, goals, priorities, okay? And you do it through people. So that's number one. You need to work with people all along the way. You need to make them your collaborators. You need to find champions of data and analytics. We call them FDAs, Friends of Data and Analytics. So people are most important. Secondly, when you work with people, you need to put appropriate processes. And we found that consulting approaches, best practices in business and consulting work really well. In our environment, it's very complicated. People under a lot of pressure. They need to watch after their customers, which are patients and families. They need to improve their care, their health status. So it's a very tough environment. So unassuming approach with empathy through consulting best practices working really well. So people first, process second. And then third is technology. So of course you need to find appropriate tools, appropriate infrastructure, appropriate capabilities to empower people, to basically align them with appropriate processes and then align them with appropriate business needs for people. So to avoid being a short-term CDO, you need to consider a lot of things. As we discussed before, we call them PowerPoint approach. People first, process second, technology third. You need to be able to work with right business needs, strategic goals of your business. You need to improve what you do, and by doing improvement, you need to empower people. That's most important. So for that, you need to employ a lot of different capabilities. Some of my peers call them chief diplomatic officers, also goes for CDOs, right? So you need to get your friends, people who understand power of data analytics, show them success stories and bring those success stories to attention of other people. So basically you need to do a lot of things with your collaborators, people who appreciate data and analytics. Through them you can deliver your message, and you need to deliver and deliver and deliver all the time. The more the merrier, but start like small. Don't overpromise. Don't go into hyping your capabilities. Just deliver successes after success, and that would you're gonna fail for sure. But if you consistently deliver successes, then you can sustain your job for years. So we tried a lot of different approaches to build appropriate, most effective team. And one thing that we learned is that you need to find people who are not only good with data, not only computationally challenged, but also can work with other people. At some point we were doing analysis of what we do, and we do it all the time. We realized that our success rate highly correlates with who on our team is lead on that specific project or program. And if this person, in addition to capabilities of data and analytics, if this person has people skills, then this project or program is successful. Correlation is humongous, okay? Then we realized that you need to have those kind of people too. And that's really hard to find. Those people are unicorns. But if you find them, then you need to nurture them. And these people are gonna be interacting with your collaborators, partners outside of your team, gonna be communicating with them all along the way, but also gonna keep track of what your team is doing. So that's kind of unique blend of capabilities, hard to find, but if you find them, you need to make sure that they're working really in best possible kind of environment. So if the question is how far CDO role gonna go, I would say it's gonna go for very, very distant future. I think we're in a situation very similar where CIO, Chief Information Officers, were, 2-3 decades ago. There's a lot of confusion about CDO role. And in the first approximation of reality, there are kind of 3 types of CDO roles. One is defensive along the lines of regulatory side, requirements, compliance, and risk. Another one is more on digital side and technology. And another one is more offensive along the lines of analytics. Sometimes second one is actually called Chief Digital Officer, and third one is sometimes called Chief Analytics Officer. No matter how you call it, those 3 types of roles, I think, gonna continue to exist because different businesses are in different stages of their maturity, of their developmental stage, so they would need different types of roles. Those 3 would be around for some time for sure. I think there would be more clear differentiation between CDOs and Chief Information Officers, and Chief Information Officer taking more and more on infrastructure and technology side, and Chief Data Officer either on risk and compliance side or on analytics side. I think that's what's going to happen.